Good evening and welcome to CYC News for the 29th of January 2017 and the 21st of October 17:33 a.m. I'm Anastasia Attia. In today's headlines, Mexican president cancels meeting with Trump. US orders first drone strikes under Trump. Turkey protests ruling of Greek court to not extradite Turkish soldiers. Obama's last strike killed over 100 Al-Qaeda in Syria. Morocco to get Africa's first high-speed train. US surgeons remove rare facial tumour from Brazilian girl. To our top story in Mexico, where on Thursday, President Enrique Pena Nieto cancelled a meeting with US President Donald Trump, which had been set for next week after renewed tensions over Trump's plan to build a wall on the border. Pena Nieto tweeted, "This morning we have informed the White House that I will not attend the meeting scheduled for next Tuesday with the President of the United States." Earlier Thursday morning, Trump had tweeted that it would be better to skip the meeting if Pena Nieto continued to insist Mexico would not pay for the wall. In an earlier tweet, Trump noted that US's trade deficit with Mexico and what he said were the American job losses caused by NAFTA. Asking about the cancellation, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said, "We'll look for a date to schedule something in the future. We will keep the lines of communication open." In a video statement posted to Twitter and translated from Spanish, President Nieto said, "Mexico does not believe in walls. I said time again, Mexico will not pay for any wall." The back and forth between the two leaders began last year during the first days of the Trump campaign, when he called some Mexicans entering the US criminals and rapists and tensions lingered throughout the 2016 contest. They escalated over the last 24 hours when Trump took executive action on Wednesday to begin the process of erecting a wall. In the US, targeted drone strikes were carried out in Yemen on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, killing a handful of Al-Qaeda militants. The strikes were aimed at Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and were the first strikes to take place under President Donald Trump. The strikes, which were later confirmed by the Pentagon, did not require Trump to sign off on them. Under them, President Barack Obama's authority to order such strikes in Yemen was devolved to the four-star commander of US Central Command, Gen. Joseph Votel. According to Pentagon spokesman US Navy Captain Jeff Davis, the strikes killed 5 Al-Qaeda operatives and took place in the town of Al-Baida. Davis said Al-Qaeda remains a significant threat to the region and the United States. They are the unrest in Yemen to provide a haven from which to plan future attacks against the US and its interests. Davis added, saying, "We remain committed to defeating Al-Qaeda in Yemen and denying it a safe haven." In Greece, the Supreme Court ruled that 8 servicemen who fled Turkey after an attempted coup last July will not be extradited. The decision brought on an immediate protest from Turkey. Turkey had demanded the men be returned to face charges of trying to overthrow the government. The men denied being involved in the coup and said their lives would be in danger if they were sent home. European Union and Greek law forbid extradition to a country where an alleged offender would run the risk of not receiving a fair trial and where his or her life could be in danger. According to defense officials, President Barack Obama's last major military attack against Al-Qaeda killed more than 100 members in a US airstrike in western Syria on Thursday. The strike, which the Pentagon confirmed Friday afternoon in a statement, hit a training camp west of Aleppo, near the Turkish border. A US B-52 bomber, along with armed drones, dropped 14 munitions on the camp. Pentagon spokesman Captain Jeff Davis said this in the statement. The Sheikh Salman training camp was operational since at least 2013. The removal of this training camp disrupts training operations and discourages hardline Islamist and Syrian opposition groups from joining or cooperating with Al-Qaeda on the battlefield. Davis noted that US strikes have killed 150 Al-Qaeda fighters since the start of the year. The defense official said militants there at the time of the strike were part of the so-called core Al-Qaeda, dating back to operatives who rose to power in the organization in Pakistan. The strike, which occurred in the early evening hours of Thursday, came just hours after another major US airstrike against ISIS in Libya that killed more than 80 militants. In Africa, the first high-speed trains are flashing along the Atlantic coast of Morocco. The French-made double-decker TGVs are being tested ahead of the launch of a flagship new line connecting Tangier with Morocco's economic capital, Casablanca, in 2018. The new trains can reach speeds of 200 miles per hour. They will cut the journey time between the two cities by more than half, to just over 2 hours. This is double the speed of South African's GO train, launched in 2012, which falls short of the criteria for high-speed rail. The $2 billion project has been in development for a decade, funded by the governments of Morocco, France, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE. King Mohammed VI and the Moroccan government expect the trains to deliver wealth and prestige for the country, but opponents claim they are an expensive folly. A new Bel Air mansion has been listed for sale for $250 million in the US, making it to the most expensive home currently on offer on the American market. The extravagant 38,000 square foot property features 12 bedrooms, 21 bathrooms, 5 bars and 3 kitchens, and comes complete with its own moat 4-lane bowling alley and an 85-foot Italian glass infinity pool fitted with a hydraulic theatre-sized movie screen. The home includes other perks such as a spa and fitness centre, 2 cellars stocked with a multi-million-dollar wine collection, and a 40-seat James Bond-themed home cinema. These features alone may seem luxurious, but the property's developer BAM Luxury Development Group have equipped the residents with a range of other unique fittings that ensure the home lives up to its opulent price tag. This includes an art collection comprised of more than 100 carefully curated pieces, including an interactive installation by British artist Dominic Harris and an oversized Leica camera by Chinese sculptor Liu Yibei, valued at $1 million. A visit to the roof also reveals a helipad decked with a helicopter that starred in the 1980s television series Airwolf. Now to sport, where on Australia Day at the Australian Open, Americans ruled in the women's semi-finals. The results were tantalising. It was the first Grand Slam final for siblings Serena and Venus Williams, who own a combined 29 majors in careers that have spanned 3 decades. Serena told reporters, "This is probably the moment of our careers so far." They progressed in complementary fashions, with Venus edging free-swinging fellow California native Coco Vandeweghe 6-7, 3-7, 6-2, 6-3 before Serena crushed Croatian veteran Rojana Lucic Baroni 6-2, 6-1 in 50 minutes. The all-Williams final plus Roger Federer's resurgence has made a blockbuster start to the Grand Slam calendar, 12 months after the subject of match fixing overshadowed much of what happened on court at Melbourne Park. And finally, in health, doctors in Louisiana removed a rare facial tumour from a Brazilian 3-year-old after her parents took to social media pleading for help. Melissa Delgado Praga of Sao Paulo is now recovering from the 8-hour surgery conducted in December. Dr. Raleigh, chairman of LSU Health, said he believed he could help Melissa. But before reaching out to the family, he wanted to ensure a safe and affordable stay in the United States. A month later, Melissa arrived in the United States for surgery. Ghali diagnosed her with a myxoma, a very rare and aggressive tumour. Dr. Ghali explained this is typically a benign tumour, non-cancerous, but it's very locally aggressive. This tumour has pretty much eaten away her entire jaw from one side to the other and has displaced her tongue. Lisa Babin, LSU's health Director of Public Affairs, said the cause of myxoma is unknown. Without the surgery, Melissa would have needed a feeding tube and was about a month away from her breathing being blocked. Ghali, along with the other surgeons donated his services, said at a recent news conference that the girl's breathing was bad and that the tumour was pushing her tongue to the back of her throat. Ghali said, "When we were able to remove the tumour, weight over 5 pounds on a child that probably doesn't weigh more than 25 pounds herself, total weight." And that's all for CYC News. A reminder that you can watch this news bulletin again throughout the week on YouTube. I'm Anastasia Attia from the CYC studios in Sydney, Australia. Have a good night.